Hi, how are we today? Uh, all right, so this I'm wearing a shirt under this, and I'm being stubborn not to wear more. It's getting a bit cold here, so this hoodie is simply because my neck kind of like gets a bit colder. Not trying to be cool, it's just cold. But all right, uh, I didn't take any notes today, which I don't know. It felt like I didn't think, all I did was respond to the world. But I also woke up at 10 because of how cold it was and because of how exhausted I was from yesterday. So that means yesterday was a very good day. But also, I took a hot shower and I don't normally take hot showers. So I took a hot shower later on in the evening and I went and I spent 3 hours with the parents. So, and I did 5 videos before I slept. Just a lot. So I didn't take any notes today, which kind of like shows me that I didn't get to think a lot today. I didn't get to stick in my head a lot today. I just got to like observe and respond, which was fine. But back to what we're doing, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna continue yesterday's like thought process where I just go from the videos from latest written to all the way back. And 3 days ago, I had a conversation Saturday. I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and in the conversation, I took a lot of notes, so hopefully I get to go through them today. One of them is that when we grow up we are raised using three methods: shame, guilt, and fear. This probably doesn't apply to a lot of to everyone, but I fucking felt it. I fucking felt it like heavy, and I was like, ah, 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 ah. But anyways, so like the whole shame, guilt, and fear are basically the what would people think about you. And I'm sure every single person, one way or another, has experienced this thought. The guilt is what would happen. The guilt is more, I think the guilt is more personal when somebody kind of like shows you that they care, but you're not really listening. And then they basically show you that they're feeling bad because of what you're doing. It's a horrible way to feel guilty because you feel guilty when you do something bad. But when somebody's just upset because you didn't do what they want and they make you feel guilty and you manage to get to feel guilty, that kind of like instills a pattern in you that takes a while to. Sorry, I didn't have my earphones on. Now the voice, the sound is supposed to come out better, right? But yeah, and ultimately fear. What can we talk about fear, man? What if something goes wrong? What if you fail? What if it doesn't work out? What if your opinion brings people's eyes on you? What if what you said hurt somebody? What if what you did ended up like causing something beyond what we can repair? It's just a fuck ton of things that are correlated with these three things. It's funny because as I was talking to her, she was explaining to me how it took her like about 35 years and a lot of failed relationships. Because I think we compensate with the people. Like for me, I didn't really like get to experience a full relationship in my life. I got to experience snippets of relationships in my life, and it's mainly probably because I don't know. Should we like include parental issues? No, but like I think it really boils down to the fact that I went out with somebody, it didn't work out, and 1 year later she died. So so that kind of like, oh fuck, shit. It's like unresolved feelings kind of like linger and shit happens. But I don't know. If I were to look at now, and what are the things that make me feel shame, and what are the things that make me feel guilty, and what are the things that I'm afraid of, I would say I do feel I would feel shame if I see somebody or if I hang out with somebody and they turn out to be different than what I had imagined them to be, right? Because ultimately, every time you're hanging out with somebody, you're going to create an image of them. And some people are actually intentional about hiding their true selves. And other people are just not really like aware of how they kind of become chameleons. Like they shift from mood to another, and like a completely different part of them kind of reveals itself. And for me, I really think I would feel shame for something like this. That's the main reason why I felt shame when I came back from like Africa, is because like a lot of people that I thought were friends were not friends, and a lot of people that I thought were like cool people were not really cool. And the people that in all fairness, man, well, we have an expression in Lebanon, and or we have a story in Lebanon. It's a short story. It's like a guy has two children, one that is always lying, and one that sometimes lies and sometimes tells the truth. And like one of his friends comes up to him and goes like, "Which child do you prefer to hang out more?" And when they asked him, the guy, it's like, my an uncle of my dad's passed away, told me the story. And then he was asked, like, which one of your children would you do you kind of like hanging out with more? And the father was like, the one that lies the most, because I always know he's going to lie. Whilst the other person you can never tell. And it's funny because the people that were truly honest and straightforward were not necessarily the best of people, but I would not feel ashamed to be associated with them or to have talked to them or conversed with them. Like in this world, everything is just this world is neutral. We make our best out of it. But about guilt right now, are really just the things that make me feel a bit guilty are when I don't fulfill what I say I will do in the day. Before, my goals were like yearly goals. Now my goals are like daily goals. And I feel guilty, which I shouldn't still. I should go. I'm interacting with these things. But like the day I don't do videos, I kind of feel some guilt. Even though I shouldn't, like I do like 3, 4 videos at a time. I have like 15 days. But the day like I don't do videos unintentionally, like the day I intentionally choose not to do videos is an okay day. I'm not going to do videos tomorrow. We're fine. It's part of the plan is not to do that. But the day that I don't do videos when it was part of the plan, I feel guilt. And other stuff like the day where I don't reach the target where or the code, write enough code or design or just basically write or explore, that's when I kind of feel guilty. And fear, you know, I am I think the ultimate fear we should all seek is the fear to not be able to express ourselves in the best version that could exist. I think that should be something that's instilled in us, innate in us. It's more of a stoic approach where if there's anything to fear, actually I think as well it's a bushido. It's like the Japanese law of the samurai. Like if you were to be afraid of something, be afraid that you're not going to that the world is not going to be able to see you see your ideal version. It really like for me because that's when I get anxious and when I'm overexcited I get anxious, right? Because like there's a lot that I want to show the world, but I need to gradually level up to get there. It's not that there is no shortcut. You need to go through every single thing in order to get to a point where you're able to kind of like engage differently, explore differently, approach things differently. And I think the only fear that's valid ever or at the very least, the one that I could only think about right now, because almost everything else, I don't know if it's what I've been through, or the fact that nothing matters anymore after you kind of like reflect on what you need to get done when you actually have something that needs to finish. It just develops it shows what kind of person you have to be for it to develop. And it's funny because like anytime it develops differently. And anytime you finish it, you kind of realize there's more that you can do. And so this fear kind of like follows you around because it shows up anytime you make a decision or you look at something else. And then it kind of like fades away when you get there. But the minute you get there, you start kind of like observing your surroundings and it allows you to kind of like have a different view, which will bring it back again. Yeah, man. I think if these values were instilled in us this way, or at the very least, I am taking them because these are feelings that I'm aware of. A lot of people are not really aware of certain feelings and emotions, so they live life differently. But now that I'm aware of them and I ask myself this question, this is basically it. And fuck yeah, shame, guilt, and fear. Why the fuck not? This is a video.